Hello and welcome back to Figure Barn. So what happens when legendary 80s movies get the Funko treatment? Now today we're going to take a trip back to high school, but not just any old high school. We're talking about rebellious students, detention drama, and one unforgettable day off. First up, we've got the slacker extraordinaire in Ferris Bueller, skipping school in style, dodging Principal Rooney, and living by the motto, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. And then we've got the unforgettable gang from the Breakfast Club. A brain, an athlete, a basket case, a princess and a criminal bonding over a long Saturday detention that turned into something way more. From Ferris's rebellious charm to the Breakfast Club's unlikely friendships, Funko captures the essence of these 80s legends in vinyl form. So if you love 80s nostalgia, rebellious antics and Funko Pops, hit that subscribe button and stick around while we add another bunch of figures to the collection. Ready to get started? Ferris Bueller's Day Off is a 1986 American teen comedy written and directed by John Hughes. Starring Matthew Broderick, the movie follows Ferris, a charismatic high school slacker who fakes illness to skip school and embark on an unforgettable adventure in Chicago with his best friend Cameron and girlfriend Sloane. Hughes wrote the screenplay in less than a week, aiming to capture the spirit of Chicago through iconic locations like Wrigley Field, the Art Institute of Chicago, and the Sears Tower. The film was a box office success, grossing $70 million on a $5 million budget, making it one of the highest grossing films of 1986. Now, beyond its commercial success, Ferris Bueller's Day Off became a cultural phenomenon, praised for its humour, Broderick's performance, and its timeless message about living life to the fullest. In 2014, it was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. So this year we received a second wave of Ferris Bueller Pops. An original 3 were released back in 2016, featuring a standard Ferris, one where he's dancing in Chicago's Von Student Day Parade, and a Cameron Fry. And this time we've got a further 4, which are the ones we're going to be looking at today. And starting off with our main protagonist, Ferris Bueller. Now, Ferris Bueller is the ultimate high school trickster, known for his charm, his wit, and his ability to bend the rules without consequence. Ferris fakes an illness to skip school and embark on an unforgettable adventure in Chicago with his best friend Cameron Fry and girlfriend Sloane Peterson. Confident, resourceful, and effortlessly cool, Ferris regularly breaks the fourth wall to share his thoughts directly with the audience. He's adored by his classmates, feared by Principal Ed Rooney, and envied by his frustrated sister Jeannie. So this is Ferris when he's wearing his military beret, which he sports when he leaves the shaky restaurant after impersonating the Sausage King of Chicago, Abe Froman, and in a lot of the scenes where he's driving the Ferrari that's been borrowed from Cameron's father. He's also sporting the dark sunglasses he, Cameron and Sloane all wear, along with the trademark outfit of the leather varsity jacket over the top of the leopard print sweater vest and the grey trousers with the white Oxford shoes. Now, the list of actors that were considered for the part of Ferris pretty much reads like a who's who of Hollywood royalty. Names on the list include Rob Lowe, John Cusack, Jim Carrey, Johnny Depp, Tom Cruise, Robert Downey Jr. and Michael J. Fox, before they eventually ended up going with Matthew Broderick. Next up, we have Ferris's girlfriend, Sloane Peterson. Now, Sloane is Ferris Bueller's cool, confident and effortlessly stylish girlfriend. Played by Mia Sara, Sloane is the perfect counterpart to Ferris by being calm, collected and always ready for adventure. Throughout the film, she joins Ferris and Cameron on their legendary day off in Chicago, embracing the excitement while maintaining her signature grace. She's known for a composed demeanour and ability to keep up with Ferris's wild schemes without even missing a beat. Now, Sloane's character represents the idealised high school romance, effortlessly cool yet deeply loyal. Unlike Cameron, who is riddled with anxiety, Sloane is unshaken by Ferris's antics, making her the perfect partner in crime. She's supportive, witty, and never really overwhelmed by the chaos that Ferris creates. So this is the first pop that we've had of Sloane, and again, she's in her most iconic outfit here, which is best seen when the three are walking around and taking in the exhibits of the Art Institute of Chicago. Now, most recognisable is the white fringed jacket over the navy blue vest, the khaki coloured shorts and the black belt, and the knee-high white boots. You can also see that she's got a brown leather crossbody bag there, just on her right side as well. Now, Mia Sara's portrayal of Sloane made her an 80s icon, and while she stepped away from Hollywood for many years, She recently returned to acting in The Life of Chuck, which is a Stephen King adaptation, where she starred alongside Mark Hamill that was released last year. And naturally for our trio, Cameron Fry comes next. Now, unlike Ferris, who is confident and carefree, Cameron, played by Alan Ruck, is anxious, insecure and constantly worried, largely due to his emotionally distant father and strict home life. Now, at the start of the film, Cameron's sick in bed, reluctant to join Ferris on his adventure. However, he's convinced to take his dad's prized Ferrari for a joyride, leading to one of the film's most memorable moments. Throughout the day, Cameron slowly gains confidence, culminating in a powerful scene where he finally stands up to his father and destroys the Ferrari in the process. Cameron's character arc is one of growth and self-discovery, making him the emotional core of the film. His transformation from a fearful, indecisive teen to someone ready to face his problems is one of the movie's most impactful elements. So this is from a scene where Cameron makes a prank call to Principal Ed Rooney, pretending to be Sloane's father so that she can be dismissed from school and spend the day with him and Ferris. So he's holding the off-white home phone there in his right hand with the cord still attached, and notably has not only his black braces but also the black belt to hold up his beige chino trousers. The t-shirt here also has a medical symbol on it that matches as it does in the movie, although in the actual scene it's more of a sort of browny green, whereas on the pop here it almost looks like a dull blue. Now, Emilio Estevez turned down the role of Cameron Fry, which went to Alan Ruck, who was actually 30 when the movie was released. Ruck's agents managed to secure his audition by pointing out his previous work with Matthew Broderick in Biloxi Blues. Already friends, the two even shared Broderick's larger trailer on set. And to round off our set for Ferris Bueller's Day Off, we have an exclusive of Cameron as well. So this one was released as part of Target Con, and as you can see we have our standard European special edition sticker, as we don't have Target in the UK. I believe in the UK though this was a HMV exclusive, but I picked this one up direct from Funko Europe. Now, due to his jersey, we also get the NHL official licensed product sticker on the box as well, as you can see there, just on the right hand side. And this is his other main outfit from the movie, with the baggy red and white tartan coloured newsboy flat cap there, and the bright red Detroit Red Wings ice hockey jersey. Now, if we turn the box a bit, we can see that we've got the number 9 on the arm there as well. And I can also confirm that it has a 9 on the back and the name Howe, denoting Gordie Howe, who was a Canadian hockey player who played 26 seasons in the NHL, 25 of which were for the Red Wings. He has the same beige chinos as in the previous pop, as you'd expect, finished off with the fairly plain black shoes as well. Now, although the movie is set in Chicago, the story behind Cameron wearing the Detroit jersey is because for the first 12 years of his life, director John Hughes lived in Grosse Pointe, Michigan, and loved the local hockey team. It's also thought of as a quiet act of rebellion against Cameron's father, who would likely have been a Chicago Blackhawks fan. So, from skipping school in style to surviving detention, Ferris Bueller's Day Off and The Breakfast Club showcase two very different high school experiences, one fueled by rebellion and adventure, and the other by unexpected friendships and self-discovery. Whether you're outsmarting Principal Rooney or breaking down social barriers with 5 strangers, the 80s made high school unforgettable. Now, The Breakfast Club from 1985 is a coming-of-age teen drama, also written and directed by John Hughes. It follows 5 high school students from different cliques: a brain, an athlete, a basket case, a princess and a criminal, who all spend a Saturday in detention together. Initially strangers, they gradually open up, revealing their struggles and forming unexpected bonds. Filmed at the shuttered Maine North High School in Des Plaines, Illinois, the movie premiered on the 7th of February 1985 and was released theatrically on February the 15th. With just a $1 million budget, it became a box office success, grossing $51.5 million. Critics praised its script, its performances and the emotional depth, cementing its place as one of Hughes' most defining works. So similar to Ferris Bueller, this is the second wave of figures that we've had from The Breakfast Club. The original set of 6 from 2015 included the 5 kids from detention, plus the Vice Principal Richard Vernon. Now currently we don't have any of those ones, but what we do have is the full set of 5 that were released this year to go through. And we're going to kick off with Alison Reynolds. Now, played by Ali Sheedy, Alison is the mysterious, socially withdrawn outsider in the Breakfast Club. Dubbed the basket case, Alison is quiet, eccentric, and often overlooked, until she starts revealing her true personality. She arrives at detention without a clear reason, simply stating that she had nothing better to do, and throughout the film she exhibits some odd habits, like making a sugar and Captain Crunch sandwich and dumping the contents of her bag in front of the group. Initially she barely speaks, but as the day progresses she opens up about her neglectful parents and deep-seated insecurities. So she's shown here with the aforementioned Captain Crunch sandwich there in front of her. She's got this rather dark, unkempt look with the messy black hair and the layered black clothing reflecting her withdrawn nature. You can also see a little bit of nice detail there below the crosshatch skirt with the leggings underneath just visible and the white socks above the Converse style trainers. Now, Alison's makeover scene towards the end of the movie transforms her from a dark, eccentric outsider to a softer, more conventional look, thanks to Claire. While meant to symbolise change, many fans felt it diminished her personality. Even Ali Sheedy admitted that she was uncomfortable with the transformation, and my personal opinion would be to argue that she was already compelling enough without the change. I'd be interested to hear from any of you guys and what you thought about the makeover and the symbolism of opening up and embracing change, which I think was what John Hughes was actually going for. Next up, we have our jock, Andrew Clark. Now, Andrew, played by Emilio Estevez, is the stereotypical athlete in the Breakfast Club. He's a high school wrestler pressured by his demanding father, who insists that Andrew must always be the number one. Now, despite his confident exterior, Andrew struggles with self-worth and identity, realising that much of his behaviour is actually shaped by his father's expectations. His reason for landing in detention? He bullied another student, taping his butt cheeks together to impress his friends, a moment he does later admit to regretting. So Andrew here is shown pulling the strings on his hoodie in a moment of boredom from the movie, but outside of that, it's a fairly basic pop, this one. He's shown here wearing his standard blue hoodie, which he has on when he removes his state wrestling championship varsity jacket over the top of a plain white tee. Moving down, it's just a pair of plain denim jeans, finished off with a pair of white trainers as well. Now, Emilio Estevez was initially cast as Bender, but when John Hughes struggled to find the right actor for Andrew, Estevez was moved into that role instead, with Judd Nelson taking over as Bender. And speaking of which, John Bender is next up in our Breakfast Club lineup. Now, John Bender, played by Judd Nelson, is the rebellious criminal in the Breakfast Club. He's tough, sarcastic, and constantly pushing boundaries, clashing with Principal Vernon and his detention mates. Now, coming from an abusive home, Bender masks his pain with wisecracks and defiance, but beneath his rough exterior, he's both intelligent and perceptive. His dynamic with Claire Standish shifts from antagonistic to romantic, highlighting the film's theme that people are more than they first appear. So this is actually sculpted around the final scene in the movie, with John Bender walking across the football field in his shades, raising his fist in the air in a triumphant gesture. This iconic moment, that was set to Simple Minds' Don't You Forget About Me, was actually improvised by Judd Nelson, making it one of the most memorable endings in film history. Now, he's wearing multiple layers in this pop, working down from the trench coat. He's wearing the red and black plaid shirt over the top of the white sleeve t-shirt, and topped with a light washed denim jacket with the various badges that you can just see there for that effortless 80s rebel look. His dark work trousers and the black combat boots complete the rugged aesthetic, and even includes the red bandana that he has wrapped around his right ankle and the fingerless leather gloves as well there. Following on, we have the brain of the group, Brian Johnson. Now, Brian, played by Anthony Michael Hall, is the high-achieving, academically pressured student who struggles with the weight of the expectations that are placed on him. Unlike the others, Brian doesn't really fit into a rebellious or social category. He's just quiet, awkward, and eager to please. His reason for landing in detention? He brought a flare gun into school, intending to use it after failing shop class, but it accidentally went off in his locker. Now, throughout the film, Brian opens up about his insecurities, realising that despite their differences, he and the others share similar struggles. In the end, he's the one that writes the group's essay, summarising their collective realisation that they're more than just their stereotypes. So Brian in this pop, where he's wearing sunglasses, is from a scene after he smokes Bender's stash with the group, which in reality oregano stood in for. He puts on the shades, laughs uncontrollably, and acts more relaxed than ever, showing a rare break from his usual anxious, studious demeanour. But similar to the Andrew Pop that we saw earlier, it's a fairly simple sculpt, this one, with Brian wearing his plain green sweater and the beige coloured chino trousers, and finished off with the blue trainers down there, which I believe are actually a pair of Nike Internationalists with a yellow swoosh. And another little fun fact to throw in, Anthony Michael Hall's mother and sister both appear in the movie, suitably as the characters' mother and sister in the beginning of the film. And finally, to wrap up our 80s showcase today, is Claire Standing, where she's dancing. Now Claire, played by Molly Ringwald, is the pampered popular princess in The Breakfast Club. She starts off as snobbish and entitled, believing that she doesn't even belong in detention with the others. However, as the day unfolds, she reveals her insecurities, particularly about her parents' toxic relationship, which leaves her feeling trapped and used. Despite her initial aloofness, she gradually connects with the group, even sharing a romantic moment with John Bender, the rebellious outsider. Her transformation again highlights the film's themes, making her one of the most layered characters. Now Claire here is wearing a fashionable pink sweater, the knee-high boots and the designer skirt, all sort of reflecting her privileged background. And she's dancing in this pop, which is from a scene where all the detentionees share more of a carefree moment, and Claire lets loose on one of the library staircases. And naturally, Molly Ringwald is also known for her red hair, which in this one is shoulder length and styled in soft waves, sort of framing her face there. Molly Ringwald and John Hughes shared a close creative partnership throughout the 80s, with Ringwald starring in 3 of his most iconic films. So that's 16 Candles in 1984, The Breakfast Club here in 1985, and Pretty in Pink a year later in 86. Hughes even referred to Ringwald as his muse, writing 16 Candles specifically for her after seeing her headshot when she was just 15 years old. So we'll be doing another John Hughes movie showcase in the near future, which will cover 16 Candles and Pretty in Pink, along with other 80s movies that have recently had pops released. So make sure you hit the bell and get notified for when they're posted. And that's a wrap on our Funko Pop showcase today, featuring 2 of the most iconic 80s classics. Now, whether you're pulling the ultimate day off or navigating detention with a mismatched crew, these figures capture the nostalgia of these unforgettable films. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss any more Funko Pop hunts, reviews or movie showcases. Which figure stands out most to you? Is there any Funko Pops from these films that you'd love to add to your collection? Or are there any other 80s movies you'd like to see Funko make pops of? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to hear them. So until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and remember, there's always another story to tell. We'll catch you in the next one.